Hi everyone. So this video is 2 days late because after I rescreened the film in question on Monday night, I was a little bit too tired from having worked that day to make the video that night and post it the next day. So I figured, I'll just make the video tomorrow and post it then. And then when I got home from work the next day, on Tuesday, I was too tired then. And then yesterday I was really busy and didn't want to do it. It just became easier to put it off the longer I put it off. So I apologize for those of you who've been waiting around for my review of Contact, which is the next Robert Zemeckis film, his follow-up to Forrest Gump. He's a newly minted Academy Award-winning director, and so he directs an adaptation of a Carl Sagan novel called Contact. The main character is an astronomer named Ellie Arroway, who is played by Jodie Foster in the film. She has been fascinated with science, and most particular planets and stars and what have you. Since she was a little girl, played by Jena Malone. She grows up to be Jodie Foster and works in radio astronomy, using satellites and large dishes, basically, to listen to the noise made by far-off celestial bodies, stars and other, planetary systems that produce radioactive noise or whatever. She listens to it. And her goal is to find extraterrestrials, to find intelligent life elsewhere in the universe. She has a core group of people that she works with, but they get their funding, their group gets their funding from a company that's run by a character named David Drumlin, who's played by Tom Skerritt. And he's rather pessimistic about their chances of finding alien life, and so he's always very disparaging of her, and eventually pulls her funding, so she gets funding from a corporate guy, sort of one of those multi-billionaire industrialists, named Haddon, who's played by John Hurt. Interesting fact here, both Tom Skerritt and John Hurt were, of course, in the original Alien. Nice little reference there. Some of the other key supporting characters are played by Matthew McConaughey. He's like an on and off boyfriend of hers who's also sort of a religious speaker. He's written a couple books on the role of technology in civilization. How is it helping and how is it hurting us? One of her favorite people to work with is played by, what's that guy's name? He was in The Dark Knight and Heat and Strange Days. William Fichtner, right. William Fichtner plays a blind astronomer. They're good friends. And who else? Bill Clinton makes an appearance in archival footage. Angela Bassett is in it. David Morse plays her father in the flashbacks. I'm missing someone key. I know right, James Woods. James Woods plays the Secretary of Defense, and he's always just like really irritated by everything that's going on. I love James Woods. He's so great. And it's a good cast. Unfortunately, this is a movie that I don't like very much. And the big problem with it is that it's really, really sappy. It's a very, very touchy-feely movie. All the characters talk about how much they need each other and how important human interaction is, and how we have to have faith in things that we can't see and what have you, and the lines between scientific pragmatism and the concept of believing in things that aren't proof for is just so very clear-cut and dramatically overstated at every possible opportunity, especially since Matthew McConaughey is a real religious type. His character is named Palmer Joss, and he went to seminary school before becoming sort of a journalist of his own. He was before he wrote his first big book, he was trying to get an interview with David Drumlin, the Tom Skerritt character, which is how he meets Jodie Foster. And then in later years, of course, he becomes an advisor to the President of the United States. Somebody with his spiritual, with his finger on the spiritual pulse of the country, something like that. Can that job even exist? I mean, really, it's so wild. Anyway, what happens is, while Jodie Foster is trying to contact alien life, everyone's saying, or at least key people are saying, you're never going to succeed. Either it's too far away, you'll never be able to contact it, or there's nothing out there. And just before she gets booted off the very large array in New Mexico, boom, the signal comes. This big, loud, intensely broadcast message from the distant star Vega boom, they catch it, they interpret it, it's obviously intelligent life. What is it? As it turns out, after they interpret the information that they get, it turns out to be a message with instructions to build a transport device that will take a human passenger out into the stars. I'm like, oh, we have to build this thing, you know, and certain people are like, no, you can't do this, you can't trust the alien intelligence, it could be like a bomb or something, blow us all up, you know, or everything like that, and Jodie Foster's like, no, we have to believe that their intentions are, you know, their intentions can't be hostile, you know, they're intelligent, everything like that, you know, they obviously are very, very advanced, you know, so there's this big conflict there between all the, it's like these super like fundamentalist type are all saying this is a message from God and we can't have scientists, you know, going off into space to meet God. We have to have religious people, and they're just like, it doesn't make any sense really. But eventually, you know, there's a whole bunch of shenanigans involving, you know, the political and all the money that it costs and everything like that. And all that stuff's really interesting, you know, the whole technical aspect of it. But some of the dialogue in this movie is just awful. And after they test the machine and send Jodie Foster off and back again, there's this whole problem with her having experienced this trip that lasted like 18 hours, but apparently didn't last any time at all on Earth. She was there and back in a split second, and nobody believes that she actually went on a journey. So there's this huge section at the end in which there's this big inquiry into what happened and who's to blame for it and everything like that. There's all this speechifying, and I gotta tell you, Jodie Foster is one heck of an actress, because she can make a terrible monologue at the end of the film in front of a big Senate subcommittee. Actually, she could actually sell that, you know, so yeah, technically the movie is aces, really. I just love the shots of the machine as they're building it and as it's been built, especially when they take it from news camera footage, because the images degrade along with everything else. It looks real, you know, it looks really good. But it isn't just the obvious special effects, it's also like the way they repainted the sky to make it cloudy if it was light, or light if it was cloudy, or they just clean up environments, or just add all kinds of extras and cars everywhere, you know, crowds of people. The technology was getting really good at that point, and you know, it's a little scary to think that so much of that, you know, isn't actually real. At least that's what some people thought. Yeah, this is definitely one of my least favorite Zemeckis films. There's stuff I like about it, but overall, when I watched it again, I just thought, yeah, I really don't have any desire to see this whole movie ever again. Anyway, that's the bad news. The good news is, tomorrow, Friday, I'm back on schedule. What Lies Beneath? Harrison Ford and Michelle Pfeiffer, Robert Zemeckis' next film, which came out in 2000, What Lies Beneath? That's tomorrow. And then Sunday, Castaway with Tom Hanks. So I hope you'll tune in for that. If you have a view on this film, want to talk to me about it, you know, or do a video response, I'm doing a playlist of Robert Zemeckis videos, and I'll add you into the playlist if you make your video as a response to mine. So look forward to seeing what you've got. Thanks very much for watching. See you next time.